Hello, dear audience. I want to talk about Trump procedure and steps since he returned to the White House. I want to say that what he is doing is illogical and irrational. First, let us consider his external policy, his policy towards economical field, namely exportation and importation. For he is imposing taxes on importation, and this is very dangerous, especially for imports from neighboring and friendly countries like Canada, Mexico, and Europe. For China, this is correct to impose taxes, but he was not brave enough to impose the same amount that he imposed on Canada and friendly countries, Europe. Conversely, he imposed just 10% taxes on China, which should have been 25% at least, the thing which should have been done for imports, having the trade balance in an even situation in favor of China. Thus, regarding the economical field, regarding the political field, assaulting the sovereignty of neighboring countries, when he says Canada should be annexed to the United States and Greenland should be taken from Norway and annexed to the United States. What Trump is doing is turning friends to enemies and arising enemyship feelings, and they are catastrophic. As why blocking the military and information assistance to Ukraine? No one denies the effect of the American military equipments and especially information assistance. But doing all that all of a sudden makes one puts a big interrogation mark on Trump's procedures that made the Russian army take advantage of this and march forward and took new positions and occupied more new Ukrainian lands, the thing which would weakens the Ukrainian requests and terms in any peace negotiation meeting. And as a result of abandoning Ukraine on Trump's behalf, it is expected that this brave country would face many difficulties of different types and graze in the battlefield ground after withdrawing the US all types of assistance. Once Trump would probably play hero than the thing which goes with his narcissistic personality. Regarding the economical and military assistance that Trump was humiliating President Zelensky for and telling him about the billions of assistance and billions of dollars to Ukraine as assistance, and that President Zelensky should be thankful by day and night to Trump for that. In fact, it is the Americans and Europeans that should be indebted to Ukraine, because in fact Ukraine is the first front line of defense for Europe, and if Mr. Trump isn't aware, also for America, as Ukraine is actually putting limit in its war with Russia, putting a limit for the great Russian greed, humiliated Russia and exhausted it economically for occupation of lands and taking other lands. Trump actually is weakening the political and military situation of Ukraine and leading to many more Ukrainian soldiers killed due to lack of weapons and lack of information. If one contemplated, as Mr. Trump said, that he had spent much money and it's time to stop that. The United States shouldn't spend more money. That's what he said. But in fact, and his punishing steps and bullying behavior towards the Ukrainian president are the top mad. By stopping your assistance now, and the Russians are making benefit of that, you are losing the profit and interest of the money given to Ukraine by losing its military success, the success it had achieved in the past. What Mr. Trump is doing could never have been done unless he cares for the welfare of Russia more than the welfare of the United States. What he has done wouldn't have been done unless he were a Russian agent. Moreover, if he really wants to stop the great dispenses of the American government, he shouldn't have done that on the expense of assisting a brave fighting country like Ukraine, with a real patriot president who is sacrificing his dignity, talking to a rude person, showing all the possible rude non-diplomatic behavior, and vaulting all diplomatic dialogue rules just in case this could save his country. In fact, President Zelensky is one of the few really patriot presidents in this world, and I believe that he deserves the Nobel Prize for what he endures for his country. Actually, Mr. Trump is planning for Ukraine's surrender and not just a peace settlement. Regarding the quick changes that Trump made are very wrong And anyone who knows ABC in personal behavior or international behavior or engineering procedures knows very well that sudden changes are very harmful, even if they are right in themselves, generally right, but they would be wrong if applied suddenly. Changes should be gradual. One more point I want to say about Trump behavior regarding his prosecute and law sector in United States. He is literally taking revenge for the conviction charges laid on him when he was not in authority. And that's the top madness, to collapse the law sector in any country. Also, one of his wrong deeds is firing many of the government employees and making them with unsecured feeling, and that they could be at any time could be kicked out like their colleagues. This is the madness. He is destroying the credibility of America around the world and the credibility of American state in front of its folks and people. I hope that America wouldn't collapse even before Mr. Trump has completed 2 years in the White House. I suppose that only God can rescue America from the terrible fate awaiting through Trump's deeds. Mr. Trump actually acts like a child, playing in his room, directly executing the ideas that comes to his mind irregardless what results would be. What is clear, and I don't know how the Congress people and the American folks don't see how catastrophic and destroying for America all Trump's decisions. Unless he is innocent, or an enemy of America, or a Russian agent, he wouldn't have done what he did and is doing. It seems that end of times has come. That's all, my dear audience. Hope the Almighty God has mercy on the world. This world that is now having a ruler for one of the greatest countries like Trump. That's all I could say, my dear audience. Goodbye. Good day for now.